Social media is very important for teenagers, but it causes a lot of problems. Teenagers send bad pictures and harmful messages to others and use in a way to pick each other. Schools should be able to monitor students. Social media is very to know if the students are doing an appropriate thing when it's reported to the school. The three main reasons why schools should monitor students on social media are: it results cyberbullying, it's able principal monitor for an appropriate photo, it will make school more safe. For those reasons, schools should monitor students for social media.
Our first main argument is because so many students get bullied by social media. If school can monitor social media, it will reduce cyberbullying. Research suggests 23% of children and teens have cyberbullying. There is also research that cyberbullying might lead to more suicidal thoughts than regular bullying. Some schools in Florida started doing this. A girl had two accounts. One was her normal account, and on the other, she talked about cutting, and nobody would miss me. The school checked it out, and the school told the police, and she got help. If the school did not check it, if the school did not check it out, the girl would have died.
Our third main argument is it allows principals to monitor inappropriate photos while they're recorded. And a school found illegal activity in a student's social media while monitoring it. Also, some kids have been arrested for sharing and looking at inappropriate photos. And lastly, some students have searched inappropriate things daily. And for this reason, schools should be able to monitor social media. Our third main argument is for student safety. 14 out of 12 African American kids were targeted on social media out of the group. And cyberbullying and child safety is more likely to result in controversy and complaints rather than resolutions. And this would be prevented if schools were unable to monitor social media.
What if someone came up to you and told you, I'm going to start looking through your phone whenever I want and do whatever I want to it? What would you think? Schools should not be able to track students' social medias or phones inside nor outside of school. It's an invasion of privacy, and they should not care what we are doing outside of school. It violates the First and Fourth Amendment because you don't have a freedom of speech, and they don't have a probable cause or a warrant to search through your phone. Parents are allowed to be parents in these cases. The schools are taking that away from them. If it is something that breaks the law, then the police or a higher authority should be involved, not the school. It is different if it's the school's property, but your phone is not their property. It is yours. If you're doing inappropriate or hateful activities on the school's technology, then they should be able to search their technology. Oh wait, I already read that. And schools should not have the right to look through your phone. Schools are crossing the line to go through their students' phones by spending lots of money on this. Doing this, that makes students lose trust of their teachers and maybe even their peers.
Our first supporting argument is it is an invasion of privacy. Schools send home letters to students to notify the parents that their kids may be asked for their passwords, which is making the parents outraged. They didn't like the idea of anyone going through all their kids' personal information. A high school teacher had also read and transcribed text from a student's phone. So how do we know if they abuse or overreach their authority when going through our things? We don't. Not to mention, kids will become more reluctant with their phones. Some may even start looking for different things to use in secret apps. Kids will not want to give their passwords and could go against it, which will just cause more chaos and drama. Social networking sites have been criticized for not protecting users' personal information, leading to a May 2010 complaint filed with the Federal Trade Commission by 15 consumer advocacy groups. This proves that kids' and parents' integrity are being taken away from them. 84% of students own a cell phone, and that's a lot of students' phones to go through and check. That's like someone coming to your house and going through everything in your room, which is neither fair or appropriate to other personal items. So if you wouldn't want them to do that, then why should they be able to go through your phone?
Schools shouldn't care and need to know about what students are doing outside of school. Some schools say they keep the passwords, so if they have a reason to look through their accounts, they can. But if there's no reason to look through them, they don't need the passwords. Once you get into the business of monitoring, then you're potentially taking on liability for the things you might see. Any policy around student social media needs to be very, very cautious. The students might trust the staff and teachers less because they don't know what they're going to do with their phones and their accounts and passwords. Students can become sneakier about what they post and do online because they don't want teachers or staff to see stuff on their accounts. Students could also make a fake account and give the school the password to that account. Related concerns were raised during the 2013-14 school year in California, where the 25,400 student Glendale Unified School District came under criticism from the American Civil Liberties Union and others for paying a third-party vendor to monitor the students' social media. Lots of schools have tried to do this but have had lots of problems and concerns about privacy, and it hasn't worked out well with students or parents. If it's off school grounds, the schools are overreaching their authority, and the police should be involved.
Schools are asking for students' social media passwords and looking through their phones without the student's permission. This violates the First Amendment and wastes both police and school resources. It violates the First Amendment, freedom of speech, because some students are being suspended and even expelled for what they post online. In Huntsville, Alabama, 14 kids were expelled because of social media posts in 2014. Although social media is supposed to be a place where you can express yourself freely, students are getting in trouble. Some schools in Orlando, Florida are partnering with police to monitor students' social media, which is wasting police resources that could go to more important situations. Some schools are using a program called SnapTrends. The school district says it will pay about $18,000 annually on SnapTrends, which is wasting school resources. Another school in Huntsville, Alabama is using a different security firm. In November, AL.com reported that the city school system had paid a security firm $157,190 to oversee security improvements, including the investigation of social media activity of public school students. Schools violating the First Amendment and using police and money to spy on students is wasting valuable resources and also breaking privacy laws.
All right, both sides, you have 2 minutes to prepare a rebuttal.
my opponents have said that in Alabama, there were 14 kids who were arrested for social media purposes. Those reasons are because they were doing inappropriate things like sending girls inappropriate photos and other things like that. Therefore, they should have been arrested because it's illegal and they were underage. Law can't keep track of everyone. Parents, some of them don't really care. So I think it is in the school's purposes to check phones. They're not asking for passwords and saying, oh, we can look at this whenever we want. No, what they're saying is, hey, so-and-so said you were kind of not being nice to them on the internet. I kind of just want to look at this just to make sure everything's okay.
My opponent said this could help prevent bullying. Yes, maybe this could help prevent a few people being cyberbullied. But I asked my group members, and they said they have never really witnessed bullying. And if this could help prevent cyberbullying, wouldn't they just start doing bullying in person? And that wouldn't really solve the problem. Also, if it is off school grounds, then the police should be involved and not the school, because they would be overreaching their authority. In the Fourth Amendment, they mention warrants and search rights, and then the police shouldn't be involved, and the police should take action what the next step should be. Also, not to mention, we don't know what they are looking at. They could have used or overreached authority again. How do we know if they're using our social media inappropriately or for other uses? They could be watching us for no reason or just out of pure boredom.
In conclusion, our group just wanted to point out 3 million kids are absent from school for a month. 20% of these kids have been bullied in person or cyberbullied. And 10% of those people think about suicide. 1 out of 10 of those people attempt suicide. Over 4,000 kids, teens, kill themselves a year. That is the number 3 reason why kids die at this age. Over 300 kids, or 3,000 kids, get arrested a year for child pornography. Over 4 kids commit 4,000 kids kill themselves a year, which, let's say somebody at Waukee is getting cyberbullied. You wouldn't want that person to get killed, would you? The only reason why I think kids don't want you to look through their phone is because they're doing some of these activities.
In conclusion, schools should not be monitoring students' social media due to a violation of the First and Fourth Amendment. The schools are spending loads of money just on programs to keep an eye on students, which some might consider crossing a line because that money could be spent on so many other things. Schools should not feel the need to keep track of what students are posting on social media off school grounds because that would be their own time and their own personal business. It would be different if there was a problem though, such as inappropriate or threatening messages on school grounds, except that's not the only thing they're focusing on. Parents are upset too and feel like they can't watch out for their children themselves due to the schools monitoring their child's phone without permission from the owner. This is why some are saying to let the parents be parents in this situation. It also invades the students' privacy and gets into their business that the schools are not entitled to be in, whether that is inside or outside the school. While this policy could protect some people's safety, it's as if someone came into your room uninvited and started looking